All right, everybody. So this is another podcast or review or whatever I guess you could say that I'm gonna try to do on my channel. Yes, we paid to see it. Hopefully, I'll be getting that back up. My partner on that has some issues. Gridirons and Grapples happens every week. Y'all need to be listening to that.
It's show you should know.
Right. Formerly FTW, Football to Wrestling. Y'all need to be listening to that. It happens all the time. Keep abreast of the Breaking Bad reviews as well as just other random stuff I put on the channel. The other voice you heard was...
It's that P-E-T-E.
All right, that
Pete Andrew.
Right,
that it was on a whim. I don't know.
There you go. And I'm Jazz. You know, we're 2/3 of Gridirons and Grapples. The other third of Gridirons and Grapples isn't a fan of anime, which is the whole point of this review show. Yay! Okay, so anyway, so we are right now. We're gonna be watching, and we're gonna branch out of DBZ, but right now we're gonna be watching every movie of Dragon Ball Z, and reviewing them, watching them in order, and reviewing them as we go. So the very no, DBZ is not that bad.
The movies might be.
Well, then we'll get into that.
We'll get into that now, won't we?
I was about to say, that was the whole point of the show, so we'll get into that. Okay, so we watched Dead Zone. The next one is The World's Strongest. We watched them in order. Dead Zone was originally released in Japan in July 15th of 1989. Originally released in the States December 17th, 1997. All right.
Man, you with your research.
Well, I mean, hey, you gotta do it, and it actually.
Hey, I'm commending it. Like I said, it's so professional. And
it actually, I see more research. It actually occurs timeline wise between episodes 11 and 12 of the Saiyan saga, or the actual DBZ saga, for those who actually care enough. Two filler episodes anyway in the DBZ universe. Movies are non-canon for the most part anyway. But no, let's get into it. So,
okay.
Yeah, but overall, before we fully diverge into this thing, what did you think of the film itself?
It was something. That's for sure.
Well,
not a big fan of it, but I've seen worse.
I'll put it like this, because I've said this to you before when we were just talking. It's hard to watch old DBZ, man. It is.
It is.
It really is. And then like I love Sean Schimmel, but it's like his balls dropped, or he went through puberty like later on in the series, because early Goku's voice is just like you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. It's also, was it Sean Schimmel the whole time for?
Well, the original Japanese version is not, but in the English dub version, which we know him as, yeah.
The Funimation dub, rather.
Yeah, the Funimation dub is Sean Schimmel. And Christopher Sabat as Piccolo, and the other people that he plays. So yeah.
Blah blah blah. Well, I know that initially, like when DBZ first came out, they had another company doing it, and Kakarot's voice changed, and Vegeta's voice technically changed during the Namek saga.
Well,
and Christopher Sabat, ended up, and Funimation fully got hold on it and stuff. I didn't know if they went back and did the other movies and stuff, but fair enough.
I mean,
I will admit, the voice was kind of weird.
Because he was like, hey, no, you stop that. And it's like, oh my gosh. Come on, man. Piccolo's voice is still, all the epicness that we know to love it as. Nobody else's voice really bothered me. There was one other person's voice that bothered me that I can't necessarily place it right now. But it was one other person's voice. But for the most part, it was just it's not the Goku I know and love, man. And that was the only problem with that I had with that one. You got anything to say about the voice acting, I guess?
Voice acting, there were a few things that were kind of weird. I will agree on the stuff like with the Kakarot thing and their opinions on like how Piccolo's voice sounded. It was, Piccolo the way I'm used to hearing Piccolo.
Right. Christopher
Gohan, like, I don't know. Something about his voice, like, it didn't hit me weird, like, oh, that's not how Gohan sounds. It wasn't one of those. It was more of a case of, like, looking back at it and looking at how young Gohan is supposed to be, his voice is almost too deep for how young he's supposed to be. If that makes any sense. Like, it's not super deep voice, but it felt like it. Like, I guess, when I'm, like, overanalyzing it.
Huh. But you know what's funny is that you said that it seemed deeper than it should be, but a woman, Stephanie Nadoni, I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name.
Like, I'm not talking about
I'm just saying it's funny.
Very white style, deep or nothing. It's just
that would be absurd.
Voice. He had a similar or same voice that he had when he was like 11 or 12. Like
yeah. No, I know
at
what you're saying.
Age.
At age 4, right? I know what you're saying. All right, so getting into it. All right, so in the film, we the main plot is Garlic Jr. Go ahead.
The film opens with Piccolo making rocks explode.
That was weird. That was weird. Like the very very opening before they go to the intro.
Like, you see like some like water and like studio thing come up and all that.
Then you see Piccolo. That was kind of weird. And then like don't 3 things just come out of nowhere? 3 like dudes or whatever.
Just come up and beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
He makes rocks explode, then gets the crap beat out of him.
And then intro title sequence. That was kind of weird. What's the name? Okay, so the main plot of the movie though is Garlic Jr., who somehow knows Kami and Piccolo, like knows of them. Garlic Jr. and his 3 henchmen, the said people who beat the mess out of Piccolo before the title hits. Garlic Jr. hits because he knows of the Dragon Balls, and he wants to get all the Dragon Balls to become immortal. So, how do we involve the Z Fighters, you say? He decides, I'm going to kidnap Gohan, because Gohan has the 4-star hat?
4-star.
The 4-star hat on his head, and kidnaps Gohan to take him back to get the rest of the Dragon Balls. And then he, wishes to be immortal. Of course, Goku doesn't like that, though, because he kidnapped his son. Now, my main problem with this plot is one thing that's a little nitpicky that happens later is, okay, firstly, they never show you how they get the last 2 Dragon Balls. We don't have to see how you get the first 4. We know how you got the 5th. But the last 2, hey, we just got them because we should have them to further
advance. They got them the same way they got the first 4.
There you go. But my main problem with the plot, though, is why you have to kidnap Gohan? Just steal the hat.
Just take the Dragon Ball.
Just take the hat.
I didn't understand it either. Just take the man's hat. The kid's hat.
You were thinking the same thing?
Yeah. Then they take them, they kidnap them, Now, okay, voice acting. Let's talk about voice acting.
Let's talk about some voice acting.
Let's talk about some Ox King. Can we talk about the Ox King?
I don't remember. The Ox King sounded off.
Voice.
He sounded off?
I don't know about sounded off, but his voice is always so like...
well, Ox King's supposed to sound like that.
So stupid.
Ox King's supposed
it's cool.
to sound like that.
It works, but that's one of those voices that like always. It's just like, oh, Ox King.
Ox King's supposed to sound like that,
so
man.
Weird, but he's all right. Is he supposed to sound weird?
He
sounds the way he's always sounded, but that doesn't mean it's right.
I've never had an issue with Ox King's voice. Now, if we talk about voices,
I'm not saying it's bad acting. It's just the voice is weird.
I guess I can see
talking about
that.
voice acting and like specific voices. like, let's talk about Ox Kings.
But yeah, so back to the plot though. This all could have been avoided if
they just took the freaking.
they just take the hat, man.
Took the ball.
Why do you have
Don't take the baby.
Why do you have to kidnap the whole person to get the hat they're wearing? I did not understand that. Like really. So then they kidnapped the hat. So of course Goku, and this is pre Kaioken Goku actually. This is pre Super Saiyan Kaioken. This is pre I can fly.
Like, how does this take place between any episodes of DBZ? I feel like it should take place before DBZ because Kakarot would be dead or Kaioken style Kakarot.
No, he learns Kaioken like I want to say episode 17.
He earns it while he's dead.
Right, he does.
He dies in like episode 5.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
No, you're right. He dies you're right. He dies in episode 5. It's the English dub is Gohan's Rage, but the original title translated is Goku Dies. There's only one chance. Episode 5. So you're right. He dies in episode 5. So I see what you're saying, but I mean, according to the research I did, they said that if you want to place it in a timeline, it takes place between episodes 11 and 12. Episodes 11 and 12 are filler out the booty anyway. You're so stupid. DBZ is full of filler. That's why it's taking me so long to watch all these episodes. I kind of put on the back burner. Huh?
Like, but Kakarot was dead.
All right. Anyway, getting back to the movie though. Getting back to the movie. Okay. So, what did you think of Garlic Jr. as a villain as a whole?
He's, a movie villain.
Right.
Could have dealt without his henchmen. But he was alright, but, it was neat henchmen so that the side characters have someone to fight.
How about the whole, like, speaking of the henchmen and how dumb, like, they were.
Oh, man. The dumb baby puns for, like, when Gohan was there. Like, stop crying. Oh, jeez, what a baby. Oh, like taking candy from a baby.
No. I was gonna say that part when they do like their like triple team up special move, and they said like,
Tutti Frutti, cheese.
No, pepperoni.
Oh, is it pepperoni?
What was it? It was something Tutti Frutti pepperoni. It was like no, stop.
Cheese was the last one.
Pepperoni was the last one, man.
I'm pretty sure it was cheese.
All right, well we're not gonna sit up here and argue about that, but we can agree it was dumb.
Bottom line is,
it was dumb.
And there's no explanation for it either.
There is no explanation why they were saying it's like food for their special movie.
It's just like, poof, we're gonna yell these things. Look, congratulations, we got muscles.
Right. They just got bigger, right? Garlic Jr. getting bigger was understandable. I think like we're gonna watch this movie later. Obviously, I own this movie and the World's Strongest double disc set. But this Garlic Jr. kind of had the same problem that I think BoJack did, which was like I know the movie has to be short to a certain extent, but once both of them upgraded, they ended up getting defeated like shortly afterward. And it was kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because that's how I felt with Garlic Jr. And like I said, you'll see with BoJack later too. It's like once you get upgraded, it's like later on, okay, now I got defeated. And of course, Garlic Jr. We're gonna go ahead and spoil in this because everybody's seen this, and if they haven't seen it by now, they're not going to. That's the way I look at it, or they're not gonna care. So Garlic Jr. is immortal, but how does he get defeated? Because the plot said so.
Yeah.
What?
It's pretty stupid. By the way, I just love the bad guy. Back to the whole bad guy. Oh, before we even go to the bad guys buffing up and stuff, I want to talk about the henchman that tried to stop Gohan from eating an apple that apparently made him drunk.
Oh no, yeah, he got drunk and started hallucinating, he ate some shrooms or something.
I'm like, was that drunk? He looked like he was drunk, but then he started hallucinating, so maybe it was drugs.
Right.
There's something wrong with that apple.
Yeah, but what was weird about it was that he was Oh, kids aren't supposed to eat those. What? So once you hit like 18, the apple no longer has effects.
Like what?
And then they had like, a whole like weird, pointless like sequence of like him seeing random dinosaurs and like
cuckoo clock.
yeah, and like random music, like eat, or whatever they was playing was going.
Yeah.
That was weird. That whole sequence was weird. And then he kind of like went to sleep, and there was no more mention of it, and it was like it never happened, and the movie went on.
And then we get around to the whole tutti frutti, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and they're like actually putting up a decent fight against Kakarot, and then surprise, here's Krillin.
Well, yeah, Krillin did show up out of nowhere.
It's like, alright, well, Krillin's cool. And then all of a sudden, Piccolo starts coming in. He's got his own little badass music when he walks in.
And then Piccolo, for no reason, even though he got the crap beat out of him earlier, for no reason, was beating the mess out of them.
Yeah, after hungover Gohan pees on Krillin for no reason.
Oh, that's what I forgot to say. I hated that. Look, okay, I own Brawley's Second Coming, and we'll be watching that. And I'm gonna apologize in advance for that movie because Brawley's Second Coming has a lot of pea humor in it, and that movie's terrible.
I've seen it. It's horrible.
Yeah, but
I've seen the Brawleys.
Yeah, like the first Brawley. We'll get into the Brawleys when we watch them, but the first Brawley and the third Brawley are pretty good. The second one is dumb. But yeah, so get to the pea joke. Oh my gosh, the pea joke. That was so stupid. And then Krillin just sat there and got peed on, which made no sense. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna say ill," and that's it. This movie, man.
Then Piccolo goes and just straight up kills one of them while Kami's getting his ass kicked.
Right,
So,
I forgot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but kicked.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Profanity or not. We didn't really cover that.
It's all good.
Profanity barrier broken.
Right. But yeah, Kami comes down because Kami's like, I know Garlic, and Garlic's gonna try to overtake the Earth. And this was around the time where Kami because it was shortly after Dragon Ball, so Kami had like already expelled Piccolo from him. So him and Piccolo were still somewhat connected, I guess, within the DBZ realm. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, pretty much. If one dies, the other dies.
Right.
That's even canon.
Right. And then Kami.
They're two halves of the same person, pretty much.
Right. Piccolo is Kami's evil.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like everything evil about him. So Kami comes. Kami enters the fight. Kami, starts fighting, starts losing for a little bit. Then Kami all of a sudden turns the tables, and he starts to be triumphant. The other two bad guys, they end up getting defeated by Piccolo and Goku. All of a sudden, Piccolo and Goku are getting beat up, and then all of a sudden they do some double beam move and beat them, which made no sense, but whatever. Okay, advance the story. So then, going back to what I was saying, so then Garlic Jr. is immortal. Garlic Jr. upgrades to Big Garlic Jr. from little short midget Emperor Pilaf style Garlic Jr.
Yeah.
And then, like
and Goku's like, his power level has raised gigantically. I'm like, but you haven't come across the Saiyans yet.
Right.
With their scouters, and they're talking about power levels. Why are you talking about power levels?
Right, that is true. But they've always had the ability to sense power, though. They just didn't know about levels.
Power levels. I guess the terminology power level didn't really come into effect until the Saiyans showed up with their scouters and were like, your power level is.
Well, technically,
your power level's a mere 5, or it's over 9,000.
Right. Well, I mean, if this is truly supposed to be inserted between 11 and 12, it's happened already. If not, then okay. If it is though, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Anyway,
But yeah, so Garlic Jr. like I keep saying, Garlic Jr. is immortal, and Garlic Jr. he ends up getting defeated because the plot said so. Because he does a move.
I wanna say this movie is called Dead Zone.
Which because they had to call it that because the name of the movie. Get it? Anyway, keep going.
Right, this movie's called Dead Zone. 30 minutes or 35 minutes into the movie, Dead Zone has not been mentioned once.
That is pretty much
Suddenly,
the case.
about 35 minutes into the movie, I'm gonna summon a Dead Zone. Random out of nowhere, just
Right.
I'm immortal, so Dead Zone summoned. Wait, what? Yeah, we needed a reason for the title.
Right.
There's like 5 minutes left in the movie.
Well, two things: we needed a reason for the title, and we needed a reason to kill an immortal, pretty much. So the Dead Zone move is pretty much a black hole just in floating in the sky, basically, that Garlic Jr. somehow creates, and any and everything will get sucked into this thing eventually, except for Garlic Jr. himself per se, or at least originally. Somehow Gohan, 'cause this was around the time where Gohan was little and he was like super strong, but nobody knew. Like whenever Gohan got mad, his like abilities would come out. So somehow Gohan is withstanding against the suction from the Dead Zone while everything else is getting sucked into it.
Just starts crying and yelling, "Daddy!"
Yeah, and Goku and everybody else are like, holding on to stuff, trying not to get sucked in, but eventually they will be. And then I didn't see how Gohan knocks Garlic Jr. into the Dead Zone.
He
But
like screams and Garlic Jr. falls into the freaking thing. I've never understood it. I don't know if it's like a shockwave from the scream.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Somehow Gohan's crying and screaming knocks Garlic Jr. into the Dead Zone.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing. Like, I did not like. I think I watched it like at least 2 or 3 times, and I was like that little part trying to see how in the world did he knock him? What? Like it didn't make sense.
And it's like knocks him into the Dead Zone. Dead Zone closes, and nothing of value is lost except the past hour of viewing time.
Wow, you thought the movie was that bad?
I just felt it wasn't quite, but I liked the line there. But yeah, still nothing of value was lost.
Okay.
Just Gohan wins by screaming, which is what I always remembered about the movie because I saw it a bunch of years ago, and I'm like, yeah, that's the movie where Garlic Jr. Works the whole. I thought my memory served it as, he works the whole movie to summon a Dead Zone.
Right.
And become mortal. But no, the Dead Zone thing was literally just, hey, it's 5 minutes left in the movie, summon the Dead Zone. Okay. Time to fall in. And then Kami calls up, he suffered the same fate as his dad.
Right. That was the whole thing. That was one of the main reasons,
same
right.
fate as his dad? Did his dad summon the void too, only to get yelled at by a baby and fall in? I mean, how is this
Well,
the
not
same
yelled at by a baby, but his dad summoned the void only to get sucked into it, obviously.
Did he? Or did he just lose? And Kami's like, yeah, he lost, like his dad did, because he was evil.
Well, if he just lost, right? Who knows? Just let Kami.
Like, how is this the same fate as his dad, Kami? You care to elaborate?
Just let Kami be Kami and look over the earth, and he does his job good enough. So
yeah, like remember Kami, mentioned earlier in the movie that that Garlic's dad fought with Kami for the position of Kami.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, Kami won, and he was mad. Like, no, I'm gonna summon demons, and whoever gave Kami the position of what he got was like, no, forget you.
Right.
And
No, I
finished
get
him.
Well, I will say this. Wrapping up, kind of winding down a little bit. I will say this: you gotta when it comes to this, you have to somewhat grade on the curve. I hate saying that, but you kind of have to because it's old DBZ, man.
No, I'm grading it on watching the movie, and like I said, it wasn't too bad. Like, it was definitely a movie. There are definitely worse movies, DBZ movies, more recent bad DBZ movies.
Really?
But,
okay. Well, I said really. Okay. Well, I guess we'll end up watching them.
I mean, like later.
Okay.
Like made later. Like not necessarily old DBZ. Like as you mentioned earlier, Broly Returns.
Oh yeah, Broly's second coming. Yeah.
Broly.
Yeah. Bio Broly was not terrible, man.
Bio Broly was horrible.
Okay, save,
But we'll get into that.
save that for Bio Brawley review. I didn't think Bio Brawley was bad, but we'll get into it. But yeah, I thought that for what the Dead Zone is, I'm going to take this line it's in my head from a review that I saw for another movie by somebody a day or two ago. It's harmless. You know what I'm saying? Like it's harmless in the sense that it's just another little throwaway movie to watch. Like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It could be a whole lot better, but it ain't terrible.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's far worse than Dead Zone.
I mean, we're gonna get into some of my favorite movies as we go through this thing anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say that I give this film out of 10. I'll give it a. Woo, it's kind of hard. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's average.
I think 5 is good.
So 5 across the board.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, 5 works.
All right. Well, I guess that's winding down for the first episode of this ongoing DBZ and eventually other anime review show that we'll be doing. Next time we'll be watching The World's Strongest, and where the main villain of that one is Dr. Wheelo. It's so funny how like I own Dead Zone and I own World's Strongest. I own Dead Zone and World's Strongest. I fell asleep on Dead Zone when I bought it like a year or two ago, and I never watched World's Strongest. So
I don't know if I've seen World's Strongest.
So that's good that out of the movies we've seen, we're going to be getting into the second movie that we're going to watch is a movie we haven't seen. So there you go. That works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we're going to go ahead and wind it down. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you got any ideas or suggestions of where we should go with this, please leave them in the comments section. Thank you for watching or listening. And please listen next time. The World's Strongest, everybody. Bye. Peace.
See you later.